Lesotho wool and mohair farmers in their bid to fight for economic rights. It met the Embassy of China in Pretoria on a fact-finding mission to establish if the Mountain Kingdom's new wool and mohair center, partly Chinese-owned, is marginalizing the farmers. This intervention has put the spotlight on economic diplomacy between Lesotho and South Africa, as well as the continent.
The biggest farmers association in the SADC region, Agri SA, is throwing its weight behind wool and mohair farmers in Lesotho. 37,000 farmers of the Lesotho Wool and Mohair Growers Association have appealed to their counterparts around the world to intervene.
The Wool and Mohair Growers Association of Lesotho wrote a letter to Agri SA, from farmer to farmer basically, to support them because they were unhappy about the dispensation about what should happen to their wool and their wool marketing system in Lesotho.
At 5% of GDP, wool and mohair is Lesotho's biggest agricultural export, netting an annual income of nearly R1 billion a year. The country's new wool and mohair trade regulations don't allow individual growers to export. Instead, brokers must register businesses in Lesotho and buy there. For now, only a Chinese-run broker is licensed.
But what we also were told was that, first of all, the wool center that was set up is a private initiative of a private naturalized individual that is of Chinese origin, but he's a Lesotho person. He set up a center for wool in partnership with the association, the Farmers Association. Now, that information we did not have.
But the farmers dispute this.
So we go to a joint venture to build 4 stalls. Those stalls were only meant for storage. After that storage, we were supposed to go to the second phase of buying shares, the paid shares. He was supposed to pay 25, we were supposed to pay 75%. Yes. Before we were gone there, the Chinese guy go to court. He said, no, I want to sell wool. Then we say, our contract doesn't mean this, what we are introducing now. He went to court, and he was defeated in the court.
So who do we believe? Do we believe the Chinese councillor that we saw this morning, or do we believe, the story from the wool growers? With all respect. So what I think we will do is we will send a scout out there, independent of course, not affiliated anywhere, but as from our farmers organisation, to go and see for himself and do a bit of investigation in terms of what exactly is happening. Because how it was explained to us this morning is maybe the farmer will also have a benefit in the whole thing by owning, having part ownership in the brokerage.
The government of Lesotho says the farmers will benefit by saving costs, including transportation to the wool exchange in Port Elizabeth. But Agri SA and other mediators will have to tread very carefully.
Lesotho is an independent country and has got its own sovereignty. We are not the Chinese portion of the Republic of South Africa, and we will never be. As the government, we will make the laws which try by all means to grow the economy and to protect the economy of Lesotho. So I cannot come here and argue with a company which is in South Africa, which is not being regulated in Lesotho.
The Wool Testing Bureau in Port Elizabeth says the Lesotho Wool Centre is waiting for its mohair to be tested there. This raises questions about the certification of the broker.
Is that certification process in place in Lesotho? And my gut feel is no, but we need to do the investigation to find out whether it is like that or not. I must say this is a rather difficult issue, because it's different countries. But we've got to be careful not to get involved into policy making. All I'll say, my concern is I want the farmer not to be restricted to a certain market. He must have a free market. He must take part in a free market system.
The two countries may have to engage to resolve this issue.
The logical question to ask is, if I'm President Cyril Ramaphosa, is that why would you treat a South African company this way, if you are involved, because I don't know for sure that he is involved, but even if he's not involved, he shouldn't allow it to happen that the farmers are suddenly just being forced to take out of the equation a South African player. If Lesotho depends on South Africa as much as it does, considering how many Lesotho are working here, if Lesotho is looking to have a relationship with the Highlands Project to supply water to South Africa, those things cannot happen if we keep on having this kind of belligerence. Lesotho is a sovereign state, but sovereignty doesn't mean anything if you can't trade.
With the Africa Continental Free Trade Area being finalized, how does Lesotho compare to Tanzania, which is taking what appears to be similar bold steps in agriculture?
If the Lesotho producers are getting a better price from the Chinese, they wouldn't have to be forced to do it, because they would be selling to the guy who's offering the best price. And I'm all for that. I'm all for farmers not being exploited. But in this case, it doesn't sound like they're being protected. So John Magufuli on the one side is protecting his farmers by buying all the produce. In this case of Lesotho, somehow they are being diverted from choosing who they sell to on the basis of free market, which is which price is the best, and they are being channeled into one.
The first Lesotho wool auction is going ahead on the 20th of November, but BKB says it will neither participate nor register in Lesotho.
There's no organization. The center was set up without proper investigation into how the market works, what's the proper infrastructure that you need to run a center like that. The wool that's being sold next week are not tested at all, so buyers will only go and buy wool there if they can buy it for a very cheap price.
Ntakwana Ngatani, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Supporters of the incarcerated Abatembu King Buyele